everybody. Welcome to our live this morning. Thank you for joining us. Today, I am here with my special guest, Todd Rogers. He is the Senior Director of Naturals, the GBO Naturals. So you're down in Texas. Yeah.
I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas, right here in Houston. Actually, I'm in a suburb of Houston, but I'm in Houston. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm excited to learn all about what you guys are up to now going into 2021. Looks like you have an impressive show schedule already on the books. And
Everybody, welcome to our live.
hold on here. You might hold on. There you go. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what you guys have planned for 2021 and what the GBO Naturals is all about. How are you guys different?
We're I tell a lot of people that we're not the same as most organizations. I mean, we 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 are the same. You can put us in the same category, but we're basically not the same because we do a lot of things different. I mean, we're actually an international bodybuilding organization, the Global Bodybuilding Organization, and we have shows all around the world, Europe, South America, Mexico, Central America, India. We're planning on having shows in Australia, Germany, um, all over the world. One thing that set us apart is, I think, is our judging and our criteria. We're real stickler about that. We want to make sure that the athletes understand what criteria is, understand that we're basically on point when it comes to that. You know, you just can't. You say you can't be a beach body, or what most organizations say bikini, and then you win the whole show in every category. Because if that's the case, why do we have
Right.
categories? So it's not about who's the best body on the stage. It's about who actually meets the criteria for that division. So I think that we've handled that pretty good in the last 5 years, with the Global Bodybuilding Organization. Me myself, GBO Naturals is going on its fourth year this year, and we've we've pretty much been able to keep it intact as far as judging. So we're one of I was a pro. I was a pro,
Right.
and I competed. So I felt like it was some things that need to change. You show up at a show and get on stage, you worked hard, you did all your weeks of training and dieting, and you get on stage, and you look out there and you notice that politics is real. It's real. You got people who have sponsors out there, you got people whose coaches and stuff are actually sitting at the judges table judging their athletes. I mean, that's crazy. So that's one of the things as far as GBO. We don't even allow for judges to
I
judge
like
anyone
that.
that they have any type of personal relationship with. May it be a coach, may it be a trainer, may it be a teammate, or anything like that. They're not allowed to actually judge that person. Now they can still judge. Well, we'll pull them out for that
Okay.
class, and we'll replace them with another judge. So I think that was something unique that our president Bob Johnson came up with, and that sold me 100% back in the days, because I've been with GBO since the beginning. I've worked with many organizations here in Texas, but the Global Bodybuilding Organization set everything to another standard. They were trying to make it really better for the athletes first. That was the motto. And so with that, I was like, oh man, this is where I need to be. So Bob Johnson opened, yeah, he came in with open arms and told me, come on in, let's do this. I brought it to the table and said, hey, I'm a natty guy.
Right.
Natty guy. I'm, what can we do for the natties? He was like, well, look here, you set it up, get it all together, and we'll have a natural division. And
I love
so they
that.
started having natural divisions back before GBO Naturals was even on the table. So we had natural classes in the GBO in most of our GBO shows. So we
I
started
see.
actually doing natural pros a long time ago. They were testing athletes in their own class. So they would have
And
like
then you
a beach body
spin,
class, and then they'll have a natural beach body class. Hmm.
and now you
So
just
yeah,
split it to its
And so now it's
own.
split. So now you
Yeah.
have the Global Bodybuilding Organization,
Yep.
and you have GBO Naturals.
I
And
like it.
and the cool thing about it, again, our president is on point. Cool thing about it, this is going to be the first year that we have our actual world championship. GBO Naturals, we'll have the Natural Atlas, which will be December the 3rd in on Galveston Island. So that's big stuff. It's going to be our first world championship in Texas. So for Natties, so all the other organizations, all the other big organizations, they have their world championships.
Yes.
So Naturals had to have theirs too.
Now, when you guys hold that championship, will pros from other organizations be welcome to compete on that stage as well?
Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome to compete. However, you will have to qualify to actually compete at the Atlas. It may
Okay.
be non-tested or tested. You have to qualify. I know you just put up a website. If you go to www.gboonline.com, click on the qualifications, and you'll be able to see exactly what the qualifications are and find your show, get in the show, qualify, and then you can come and compete on one of our most prestigious stages. I mean, we host athletes from around the world. Over 20 some countries we actually competed in the Atlas last year. I mean, in 2019. So, hey, come on out
Yeah.
and compete with us.
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, I know there's a lot of controversy regarding this, but what does the GBO Naturals do as far as testing their athletes?
Oh, we basically we test for everything. We test if it's on the water list, then
Okay.
you're being tested for. We're doing tested for. The only thing that we don't do is we don't polygraph.
Okay.
Me myself, I'm not a polygraph fan, not at all, because I've seen throughout my time of competing how it's a faulty system. You know, you can have a guy come in and he'll pass your polygraph test based on the fact that he didn't even know, probably didn't know he was on anything that might be a
Right.
PED or might be on the banned substance list. So if you don't know, then you're gonna pass. But you
Right.
cannot get past that cup. Once you get past that cup, that cup is what it is. It hits that laboratory and it comes back, and you got a positive reading on your test, then you out of there. But you
Okay.
can beat that polygraph test. And another thing, it's a lot. You spending $7,500 to be tested for what? And then you might not even pass it because of something that no one knew. I'll give you a prime example. So man, one time we had an athlete who tested for the polygraph,
Okay.
failed the polygraph, was taking some like natural diuretic, dandelion leaf. But in her mind, when they asked her about it, she was like, oh, machine went crazy. So when the machine went crazy, she was like, oh, she failed the test. We came back, talked to her. Well, what was it that you took? Oh, it's this, and this. Came back, took the test again, and passed it. So it's a faulty system. It's a faulty system. So, but other than that, we test for everything that's on the water list. So
Okay.
yeah,
I like it.
and
Um,
we give our results to the other federations and to the athletes too after they're done.
okay. That's important. And if you have
Hmm.
someone fail, are you sharing those results as well with other
Everything,
orgs? Yeah.
everything,
Okay.
everything.
I like
We
it.
got a lot of affiliate like Kent and ANBF. Those if Ken was to call
Mhm.
me up and say, hey, what about this guy right here? Did he pass his test? I will pass that information on to him. If he failed, pass that information on to him also, because
Yeah.
we're about natural bodybuilding. We want natural bodybuilding is sacred to us. We want to make sure that nothing messes this up. We're
Yeah.
we're we're a culture, like you say, subculture, natty
Yes.
subculture. We are truly a culture, a tight knit culture that we
Yes.
all know what's going on at all
Yes.
time. So we
It's
want to make sure we keep all that intact.
Yeah, and the GBO is like a perfect example of that, where you guys are one organization, but you guys have created the Naturals, which is still bodybuilding, but it's literally just a subculture of the bigger
Exactly.
picture, which
Ex-
I love.
Exactly.
Because all of us have friends that compete across the board, as
Right.
bodybuilders, I don't think we don't discriminate, but we do
Hmm.
want to compete on a fair stage, when it comes to that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Now,
And I mean,
so
and that's one of the big things we did when we actually wrote the criteria for the judging.
mhm,
Our judging was actually based on natural athletes, the natural look. So even
different.
even though we have GBO Naturals, a lot of our natural athletes compete over in the Global Bodybuilding Organization and win. We
Sure.
have like two Atlas right now, two Atlas champions. They actually went over non-tested and won based on criteria alone because they met the criteria in every aspect of the game and they were able to compete over there. But for the most part, they all like to compete on the natural stage, on the tested stage.
Sure. Yeah, it's fun to test both waters as a natural athlete, see where you stack
Oh yeah,
up.
definitely.
Now, as speaking about, we're talking about shows coming up 2021. What do you guys have going on? I know last year was a tough year with venues and shows being canceled, but it looks like you already have the ball rolling going into 2021 as far as scheduling goes. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we were good last year. We were able to pull off the San
let me
Antonio
let me
Diva.
bring up one more point. I as I'm I talked to Kent Beerley last week. I'm talking to you this week. I want people to understand one of the things that I experienced as a natural athlete myself. I got into, I competed in the NPC. Then
Hmm.
I didn't even know natural bodybuilding existed because I'm in Florida, which is dominated by the NPC. So I
Right.
finally found natural organizations, and when you find natural bodybuilding, you tend to go towards whatever's local, whatever is around you. But I kind of cut myself off at the knees there because I didn't continue doing my research. And there's so many different organizations out there that offer so many different things, and there's so many different promoters out there. So what I love is that I'm able to give you guys information and 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 empower you. Where do you want to compete? What promoters do you want to go towards? What organizations look interesting to you? So I'm kind of like, I love that I'm able to give this information and let the athletes make their own decisions, and not just be, you know, restricted by whatever is in their local area. Um, so okay, I just wanted to make that point because I love gathering all this information. And I wish I would have had these resources, and I wish I would have had this information as I was a young natural athlete getting into this, and turning pro and
Yes.
hitting the pro stages. And so, all right, go ahead. Let's talk about your shows coming up.
Okay. So, like I
Yeah,
said, last year was a tough one. COVID
it
really
was.
punched us in the mouth, but we were able to pull off two shows, two natural shows. We pulled off the Diva, the San Antonio Diva, which is an all women show. It was the first all women show in Texas, natural all women show in Texas. Then we came right back with the flagship of the GBO Naturals, which is the Legacy Classic. It was both of them were awesome shows. We had great turnouts. Um, we had to fight through the restrictions that were put on us, but we made it happen. But this year is going to be awesome because if everything holds right, we got, like you said, probably about 7, 8 natural shows throughout the country that we're going to actually have going on. We're going to kick the year off next month with our posing clinic. We got the GBO Natural Posing Clinic right here in Houston, Texas, which is going to be on the 20th,
Okay.
and then right after that, in March, we're going to come out with our first show, which is going to be the Genesis, GBO Genesis. GBO Genesis is actually promoted by our Michael Gayton. Michael Gayton is the man. He's putting a lot of work, a lot of detail into this show. Hey, if you don't know about Michael, Michael is so cool. Michael is an international competitor. Back when I decided shout out to Leonardo Molina down there in South America in Ecuador. We went to Ecuador to the South American Championships. Michael came along. He competed on the stage. He came back home. He came down. You guys. I think he did an OCB show in Florida, and then we did the GBO Gator Classic in Florida. And speaking of Florida, shout out to our director Dan Olson, Darren Barnes, and up there in Orlando, who talks real
Yes.
highly about Sammy, and also
Oh,
Gus. Gus, they speak real highly about you, you know, and the things that you are doing for natural bodybuilding. But yeah,
Thank
Michael
you.
is the man, and this is going to be his first show promoting. He's putting a lot of detail in. He's done his research. He's shadowed a lot of good promoters, and so this is going to be a show that you don't want to miss. It's like we're going to actually be featuring women's beach body, pro beach body. So it is a pro am, and it will be featuring women's beach body. Now, women's beach body, for all of you that don't know what that is, that's actually like pro bikini. You know, set up on pretty much the same criteria. You know, pretty much the same poses, but we'll actually have that as you see right here on the screen, March 20th in Austin, Texas.
Todd Rogers, he is the man. All right.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. They've spoken.
Yeah, but yeah, the Genesis is going to be great, man. I'm so excited, and I'm glad that's our first show that we're going to kick it off with. So if you got any of you people that's out there that's ready to go early in the
Yeah.
season, this is the show that you want to hit. Women's beach body pros. If you need a show to qualify for real quick before the Atlas, December the 3rd, this is the show you want to hit. Get your qualification in. You know, here's the show. You know, so this is one of the great shows that we have that it's going to kick off the season.
I like it. So people like start prepping now. Like it isn't too
Yes.
late. Start now.
Yes, I mean, but you have a lot of them just came off stage back in December, November, October. They're still ready, and then you have some that missed shows that were late in the season that didn't actually have a chance to do because the shows were postponed and everything. So now they are able to compete. March, the Genesis is
Yeah.
the show for you to get in and get qualified to compete at the
Yeah.
Atlas.
Yes. And then you guys go right into May.
Yep, going to May. Now in May we'll be in Georgia uh, with the Max Muscle. Max Muscle is May the 8th in Georgia. That's promoted by Stephanie McNeil. Stephanie McNeil is a GBO pro. She's also the director of Georgia. As far as GBO is concerned, she's GBO director of Georgia. She's going to put on this show. We had this show lined up for last year and it got postponed due to the COVID-19. But this is going to be a great show. She actually has a show. It's going to be in the aviation museum. How cool is that?
That's
That
awesome.
is cool. I mean, in an aviation museum with big planes and stuff all around you and stuff. So that's going to be really cool. Now
That's gonna
she's
be a
going to actually,
neat backdrop. Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be real cool. Now she's actually going to be featuring women's pro figure. So again, if you need to qualify for the Atlas, this is the show that you want to jump into on May the 8th. It's gonna be a great show right down in the heart of Georgia on y'all. That's on y'all end. So all the people
Yeah.
down there in Florida, come on up. Out of Carolinas, y'all come on down and let's get in this show in East Coast. Hey, this is probably the closest that we got right now till we get Missouri up and running and stuff like that. But yeah, contact Stephanie McNeil. She just opened up her new fitness gym down there in Warner Robins, Georgia, which is probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half away from Atlanta. So yeah, contact her. Go to the website. Get in there. This is going to be a great show. Great show.
I like it. What do we have next? Do you want to go over the
Next we
diva?
have
Is it diva?
June 26th.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's going to be the
Okay.
Houston Diva. The Houston Diva. We look for this show to be really big. We had such great success with the Diva in San Antonio. The Diva is pretty much a brand. You'll probably
All
later
women.
on start see all women natural bodybuilding. You'll probably start seeing the Diva throughout the country because a lot of the other directors have uh, reached out and say, "Hey, we would love to have a Diva in our state," and I'm all for it
Yeah.
because basically the Diva is an empowerment show. not only are we celebrating these women and their accomplishments on stage, but we try to give back with the Diva. So some of the proceeds from the Diva actually goes to women organized charities and support groups.
I
So
like that.
yeah, yeah, we love the Diva, and that's going to be promoted by Alethea Janice. She's actually the GBO training director also here in she's down here in Houston, and she's putting a lot of detail into it too. You know, the tiaras and the sashes and all the glitz and glam and pinks and blues and diamonds and all that sparkly stuff. You know, so yeah, she's doing a good job with that show, and I think it's gonna knock it out the park again.
Oh, wow. You know, it's funny, one of the the first thing that comes to mind, people are like, "Wow, a venue full of women, that's gotta be, like, just" they think, "Oh, the cattiness that must go on," but it is so not like that in bodybuilding. Like, I'm
It's
actually
not.
envious. Oh, it's so fun. The women have so much fun backstage. You make a ton of friends, lifelong friends. It is the most positive energy you will ever encounter. So, yeah, I know the first thing
It's
people are thinking is like high school locker room, but it is not like
right.
that.
It's
It is
not like
not.
that. And let me tell you something, Sammy. That's like that in all GBO shows. I mean, you know how you go, you hear all these horror stories about you go to a show and people cutting up your suit and stealing your
Oh, yeah.
shoes and all that kind of stuff. None of that. Let me tell you that these GBO athletes, our GBO pros, they are so supportive of each other. They love to see each other make it. They bring each other up when their confidence might be down. Um, they it's I'm telling you, it's a whole nother culture when you go to a GBO show and you just feel like, your family, your GBO family. And that's basically what it is. We're a big family. We support each other around the world, So just like I said, right now we're sitting here talking. It's athletes in Ecuador that's sitting here watching this. I just got off the off chatting with the director of Germany, William Pastor, who's also going to be doing a natural show in Belgium this year. So it's love all the way around the world, and that's just the feeling that you get regardless when you go to any GBO show. It's going to be just the same thing you just described. Love.
I love it. Yeah, looks like your athletes are great. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's a great deal. But our next show will be in July,
yeah.
and
Okay.
that will be
Where are you taking
that'll be
us?
our Mile High show, promoted by Dwayne. Let me set that right. Promoted by the Texas legend, the Texas Titan himself, Dwayne Malone.
I like it.
Dwayne has a couple of shows that's going to be on the docket this year, but the Mile High is going to be in Colorado. Um, he was recently named the director of Colorado. Him and Rashad Bonner, they're going to be putting on some amazing shows up there. I can't wait. I'm not a cold dude. I'm a hot dude, a tropical guy. So I'm a Florida dude by heart, by way of Texas, but I'm gonna be there supporting those natties up there in Colorado, and I already know this is gonna be an amazing show. Uh, Dwayne spent a decade promoting for the Muscle Mania, and now he's here
Okay.
with GBO Naturals. He loves what we're doing. He's on board, and hey, he put 3 shows on the docket. So, we're excited about it. He's looking at putting another show in St. Louis, so it's gonna be big. So I'm excited about the Mile High show.
Yeah. And it seems like Colorado. I like that area. That's like a
Yeah,
destination too. That's gonna be a
yeah,
fun
it's a
show.
destination. It's a destination. I think the Mile High is gonna be in Colorado Springs, and so it's July. So I'm pretty cool with that because, like I said, I'm a
You
tropical
shouldn't be too
dude.
cold.
I'm pretty cool with that. So yeah, I'll definitely be there supporting Dwayne and supporting Rashad Bonner. And yeah, I look for it to be a really amazing show. Now, this is also a pro am. let me back up right quick to the Diva. The Diva is a pro-am also. We'll be
Okay.
actually featuring women's shape, pro shape. Now, pro shape is what you might find now in most federation is wellness. You know,
Okay.
you have the ladies with the larger, they're too a little bit too muscular for a beach body bikini, but they
Mhm.
are able to maintain their natural state with the larger quads, the larger glutes, the thin waist, you know,
Mhm.
and still compete in a arena with those who actually are physically the same. You know,
Right.
they have the
I
same.
think
You
I
know.
think you find a lot of former female athletes that just kind of have this residual, you know, muscle from years of
Hmm.
competing in like maybe track and field, soccer, those type of athletes. I really think
Yeah.
this division, it's nice. It includes them instead of excluding them because of the,
You
of
know,
what
when I
they.
first looked at it, I was really aimed on just because the natural aspect
Mhm.
was that these women didn't have to kill themselves to be bikini girls. You know,
Mhm.
they could actually have their natural state and work on
Exactly.
with their natural muscle and actually compete in an arena where they didn't have to get down to 110 pounds or they didn't have to walk around and just kill themselves every day and then get on stage and still don't meet the criteria of what bikini is. So I think this is like one of my most exciting divisions. I love women's shape. You know, uh, I used to watch it all the time when I used to go down and look at the athletes down in South America, Brazil, and stuff like that, and to
Big
see
down there.
that body type. I loved it. I loved it. And so I'm glad that we have this division, and so there will be pro women's shape that you can qualify for the Atlas at the Diva and at
So
the Mile High.
to qualify for the Atlas, you have to have competed in a pro show or placed in a pro show.
Well, you have to place in them. You have to actually place in a pro show. You have to
Okay,
place in
okay,
a pro show. You have to be
okay,
place top 5 in the pro show to actually compete at the Atlas. You
okay.
know,
Yep.
top
Gotcha.
5 in the pro show.
Gotcha.
Mile High, the Colorado show will feature
Mhm.
men's beach body and men's classic bodybuilding. All right, so those will be the opportunities for the men to actually make it to the Atlas and men's classic and men's beach body. Our men's beach body is basically the same as physique. You know, they wear
Okay.
the board shorts and stuff like that. And our classic bodybuilding is based on a height to weight ratio. So you have to meet a height to weight ratio to actually compete in classic bodybuilding. But
Okay.
they wear the classic trunks, you know, the ones that Arnold and Zane and all them used to wear, you know, with the big band. Um, and they wear those trunks right there. And we're strict about that. You got to have the right trunks on, you know, to compete in that division. But uh, it's a very exciting division. We done had some amazing pros, uh, people that qualified to be pros actually earn their pro card in that division, and I'm excited
that
about it
that
also.
leads me into my next question. How do I qualify to earn my pro card at a GBO Natural show?
It's several different ways.
Okay.
Um, GBO has a different qualification for them, but GBO Naturals actually has if it's five in your
Mhm.
class, you will be able to earn a pro card if you win that class.
Okay.
5 or more in your class. If not, then you still have an opportunity to earn your pro card in the overall. So say if you won in class D and it was probably like 4 of you in class D, then you can go
Mhm.
to the overall against all the other classes and actually earn your pro card
Okay.
by winning the overall. So
Okay.
those are
So
ways that you can earn.
worst worst case scenario, I am a
Mm-hmm,
women's bikini competitor. There's one girl
mm-hmm.
in each of the three classes. At least one pro card will be given away to the overall winner.
That's right.
So at every show,
That's
there's an
correct.
op there. If you are the best, there's an opportunity for a pro card.
That's
You
right.
just have to be the
That is correct.
best. Okay. On that, you have to
That's
win
right.
the overall. Okay.
Yeah. Well, now that's going to happen probably for the next maybe 2 years because we're trying to
Okay.
catch up with GBO. So that's going to happen for the next 2 years. And then what will happen after that is that we'll have where you would actually have to go to a national or global competition to actually earn your pro card. So you will earn
Okay.
your global uh, uh, qualification, and from there you would go to a destination, which I'm thinking that in my mind, what I want to see is the amateur world championships for naturals in Florida.
I like it.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it right here today.
Big announcement.
SubCulture. Yeah, that's what we really want to do. Whereas that the athletes can actually uh, go to a show, compete, and then they would actually go and compete on a global qualification show and earn their pro card there. So it's going to get tighter. The bigger that we get, the larger GBO Natural gets, it's going to get tighter and harder to actually earn a pro card. But that's 2 years down the line. But for right now, 5 in the class, or you win the
Okay.
overall.
Got it. That's fair enough. All right. So now we're going
Our next
into
show,
hmm?
August.
Yeah, we're going into August. This is oh wait,
August will be
August.
the Legacy Classic, which is August the 21st. It is the
All right.
flagship of GBO Naturals. It's the first standalone show, natural show, tested show for the Global Bodybuilding Organization. It's the show that kicked off GBO Naturals. Um, like I said, we had it last year. It was a great show. It featured standard bodybuilding. Um, some of the best bodybuilders I've seen in Texas in a while were on that stage. They put on a show. I'm telling you, they put on a show. You know, you had world champion David Lovelace, James Mickles, uh, Derek Richardson. They put on a show for us, and I just have to take my hat off to them. They did a great job. We also featured women's classic bodybuilding, which was won by Melanie Fargus. She's an up and coming. She's right there on the flyer. And my boy Q Wilson up there too. Q Wilson out of St. Louis. Hey, that you talking about a posing machine. Darius Wilson. That's hey, Q is the man.
That's
So
just a
this
still
year
photo, and you can tell his flow. You can see his
he,
flow
he's
just
he's
from that
amazing.
photo. You
I'm
can see
telling
it.
you, I'm telling you, this guy is amazing. This dude, he hey, Q, yeah, he's amazing. And of course, Melanie down there in the corners, women's classic bodybuilding. Now, a lot of the women in the naturals, they actually do bodybuilding and they do women's physique. Now,
Okay.
our women's classic bodybuilding is basically the same thing. So they do a lat spread, which most physique women and naturals don't do a lat spread, but they actually do a
No.
lat spread and they do classic bodybuilding poses. So all you women out there, and I get this all the time. Oh, there's nowhere for me to compete. There's nowhere for compete. Now they do open hand poses, but if you're a physique competitor, women's classic bodybuilding in the GBO Naturals is where you want to be. And I push strongly for women natural muscle because a lot of promoters won't promote this. They will not put it on their docket. They're scared of. They don't think nobody's going to show up. But I had these amazing pro women. They showed up for me, got on stage and did their thing. So if I I strongly push that if you're a physique competitor or even a bodybuilding competitor, look at our women's classic bodybuilding division. You can't go wrong. I'm telling you, you'll love this division. You love what we're doing with it, and
So
it's a
you're
big
incorporating some of the classic poses, kind of like with the men's classic, but for the women.
right, right,
Do you still have
right.
traditional bodybuilding as well?
Yes, and we also have traditional bodybuilding. We call it standard bodybuilding.
Okay.
That's what the guys doing at the Legacy, and they,
Okay.
like I said, they did an amazing job. And then we have the women's uh, classic bodybuilding at the Legacy. Both of them are Atlas Pro qualifiers. So if you want to qualify for the Atlas, there you go, right there. Then we're going to actually have pro women's beach body also. like I said, we got several shows who's offering pro women's beach body as a qualification for the Atlas. So that's also one of the shows. This will be the first time that they ever had beach body at the Atlas, because most of the time they always do muscle groups. They do figure, they do women's classic, they do standard bodybuilding. All this is the first time we just had like women's classic bodybuilding on there.
Okay. Now,
And that
this
show
show
that
ran
show is
last
promoted
year.
by Sonny Ewan.
Okay. Now, what shows do you promote? Is it the Texas Titan?
No, actually, that's Dwayne Malone's show. Actually, I actually co-promote with the Legacy with Sonny Ewan. And shout out to Sonny. She's probably still recovering from yesterday. Yesterday was her birthday. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy
So
birthday.
yeah, she's probably still recovering. I saw her yesterday. She was on the move, boy. She was trying to make about 4 or 5 different events for her birthday. So yeah, shout out
So
to Sonny.
you did a nice you had a nice piece from the last year from the 2020 Legacy. Can I run that video?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
let's run that video because
Let's
I
run
love
it.
this piece. Let's see here. I gave her a little shout out in the descriptions. This is well put together. Let's run it right now.
Just bury me in
There
the
we
ocean
go.
with my ancestors that jumped from the ships.
Okay, welcome back to Up Next with Nikki Smith. I have the infamous Todd Rogers, the director of the GBO Legacy Classic, and we're here to find out exactly what it's like to be Todd Rogers.
What is it like to be Todd Rogers?
Exactly.
Oh man,
You're the man.
Actually, well, that's what they say, but actually, it takes a team to do what I do. As you know, being one of my former team members, you're always going to be a diva. Diva
That's
for
right.
life, ODL for life, you know what I'm saying? So you're always a diva, but everything that I do, there's always some more people involved in it to make it happen. None of this I could do by myself. None of this. Me and Sonny, we put a lot of hours into this,
Yes.
but it's all the other people that are involved that actually make this thing happen. This thing called a bodybuilding show actually happen. I mean, from our expediters to our judges to our other volunteers and makeup and tanning. All this has to come into play for this to actually work. And that's what makes me Todd Rogers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a normal guy.
A normal guy, I don't think
It
so.
happened.
But in addition to being the director, you're also a promoter for GBO. Is
Right.
that correct?
I'm promoter of the Legacy Classic, also a co-promoter of the Diva, which is also a GBO Naturals show. We got several other GBO Natural shows that's coming out in 2021. We got the Genesis that'll be coming up probably in March of 2021 in Austin, Texas. We still have the Max Muscle, which will be in Georgia probably in June, July. And the Diva will be back in Battle of Central Texas in Austin also. So we got some shows that we're going to be putting out. We got some more that we're actually working on that actually happen. We're even looking at going on the international stage with GBO and going on the other side of the water and putting up some natural shows there also.
Oh, that's pretty
I forgot,
exciting.
San Francisco. We'll be doing a show in San Francisco next year also.
That's pretty exciting. So for the person who's thinking about competing, how can you get them off of the bench and just go ahead and compete with GBO specifically?
Come to a show. Come to the show, see what we're all about, see what we're doing out here. I'm telling you, we're not the same. We're not the same. We're different from other organizations. We really athletes first, definitely athletes first, family first. So we try to take care of our athletes. We try to promote our athletes with different media like we're doing right now, to give them a chance to tell people about what they do outside of this, and give them a chance to promote themselves, so, everybody can eat. Everybody get to eat.
Everybody
Everybody gets to eat, not just me, we only as good as the people that we bring with us. You know, you gotta bring people to the top with you. So I'm dragging everybody with me. So everybody that comes to GBO Naturals, then you know we're gonna give you the opportunity to shine. You know, we got a lot of different positions. You know, people want to get in these shows and learn how to promote. You can promote with us. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got. You want to learn how to judge? You can come up here and judge with us. You know, expediters, whatever it is that you feel that you want to do to help you, we can get you in the game. That's what we do.
And so it's been about 4 years since I competed, and I've noticed that you guys have added additional categories, like the shape category. What is there another category you've added?
Well, basically, we have the shape category for our women, women's beach body, which is equivalent to bikini, which you were in as a bikini pro. We also have figure and women's classic bodybuilding and standard bodybuilding. Classic bodybuilding, pretty much what sets them apart is the posing, sets them apart, and the women in classic has to be, whereas standard bodybuilding is they weigh in. The women have to be a height to weight ratio for them to actually compete in classic bodybuilding.
Okay. Okay. So for those who are ready to compete, Todd is your man. How can they catch up with you?
You can get with me on Facebook, Todd Rogers. If you want to know about the Legacy Classic, we got Legacy Classic on Facebook. You also can go to GBO Naturals on Facebook. You can contact me also on Instagram at Operation.Frank. We also have pages for the Legacy, Genesis, Max Muscle, Ballard Central Texas, and also this show, The Legacy, on Instagram. So look for us. Look for us. We're here. You have any question, that's what I'm here for. That's what they pay the director for. Reach out to me.
And so far, this is a great show. So, and the next show is.
The next show will be in March. The next natural show will be in March at the Genesis, which will be in Austin, Texas. Our actual next show with GBO, the Global Bodybuilding Organization, will be in Texas City on October the 24th, which is the Storm Classic.
Okay. So we'll see you guys there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome.
That was awesome.
That's awesome.
That was a great
Boy,
presentation.
that
I
is.
love it.
That
You
is.
cleaned up nice.
Yeah. Hey. Well, thank you, Nikki. You know, hey, she's amazing. She's one of my teammates with ODF, and she came out and did that with the next up, and I really appreciate her. Shout out to Nikki.
Yes, very, very well done. You know, having having something like that on site for the athletes, they appreciate that so much.
Yes,
You know, when I have local promoters who invite me in to do athlete interviews, I have so much fun doing that. And it's insane what you will learn about these athletes and their journeys. It's incredible.
that's the, that's the big thing. You know, when we first started, we were small enough then as the Global Bodybuilding Organization. That was a big part of GBO where we would actually reach out and our interviewers would talk to these athletes and learn their story. How did they make it to where they are now? How did they get to that stage? And that was so heartfelt. You know,
It is.
you really enjoyed it. And I think we need to somehow incorporate that into bodybuilding all the same. So it's not just some lug that's up in the gym, you know, throwing up weights. But this guy actually had a mission, a journey, something that he went through, you know, some pain, some joy, some happiness, some sorrow to actually get to that stage. And I think that would really help our community
Hey,
is bodybuilding across the
I
board.
am always trying to share those stories because like I said, I'm always touched at every show I go to. Um,
Yes,
you know, like you said, where these athletes came from. You know, you don't just wake up and I'm a bodybuilder. My story's a little different. My dad was a bodybuilder, so I kind of grew up around it. You know, I competed when I was
hmm
18, but not everybody has that story, you know.
right, right,
So,
right. You know,
just born into
I
it.
I I think that's the stories, the background, the backstories. Those are awesome. And I
It
think
is.
we need to incorporate it more into our
Yes.
events, you know, because when you do that, you know, the moms, the pops, the uncles, Jim and Aunt Betty, they get to enjoy the show more because they feel like, hey,
Yes.
I can relate to that. I can relate to
Yes.
that. So I think it's a good
Yes,
thing.
it is. It is awesome. Now you have more shows. Let's see here. We're going to Texas again. Texas Titan. Let's hear about that.
The Texas Titan, yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
Dwayne
yeah.
Malone again. The
All
Texas
right, all
Titan,
right. Let's go.
after his nickname as being the Texas Titan, world class natural bodybuilder. You know, this is going to be a good show. It's going to be right here down the street from me. Right, matter of fact, because I'm in Missouri City, Stafford is next door, right outside of Houston, at the Stafford Civic Center. Dwayne again, a decade of promoting. He's part of the GBO Natural team now. Uh, he's going to put on an amazing show. I guarantee you don't want to miss this show. It's also going to offer classic men's bodybuilding also, and pro men's beach body. So this is your last chance on the natural side to uh, qualify for the Atlas, which will be December the 3rd in Galveston Island, for the Natural Atlas, December 3rd in Galveston Island at the Galveston Island Convention Center, which
All
is going
right.
to be off the chain. That's going to be so crazy. Oh my, oh my! I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. That Friday night is going to set the pace for the whole weekend. The whole weekend.
Let me see if I have yeah, there we go. That's where you guys can find it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Dwayne
Follow all these
Malone.
shows. They are constantly updating you with information. So follow their Instagram. You
Yes.
guys don't want to miss anything.
Don't want to miss
All right.
nothing. I mean, they're bringing in, like I say, and we're gonna have a lot more posing clinics and stuff coming up throughout the year as the shows get closer. You'll be able to go. I think Dwayne has several clinics that he's putting on prior to the show. If you want to come in and learn the GBO way, you can get with him, learn posing. Whatever it is that you want to do, he got a team of people that's there to help you out. But like I said, we're gonna have a lot more. I think the Diva's gonna have a Diva um, posing clinic that's coming up. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff
Those
coming up.
those are so valuable. So anytime an organization offers a posing clinic, jump in on it. Even if you're not stage ready, you're going to learn something. It's good practice. You're going to make new friends, people that you may connect with at later shows. You'll see familiar faces backstage. Yeah, I always encourage my clients and my friends and competitors to just go to these clinics. Don't be self-conscious about yourself or where you are in your prep. That's not an issue.
Right. We just did a clinic. We did a clinic at the end of the 2020 season in Austin. Uh, Michael Gayden put that on, and it was amazing. We had like about 25 people at the clinic, and I enjoyed it just as much as they enjoyed it. It was it was just to watch them get
Yeah,
up there and see their confidence, because there was a lot of first time competitors,
right.
and to see their confidence and how they, once they knew what it is that we wanted, they were able to open up, and it was an amazing experience just to see that. Yeah.
Looks like this might be for the Titan, Texas Titan.
Right.
So it's going. All right. So what do you have next here? We have the Natty Nights Classic. That's going to be in
Natty
November.
Nights Classic. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
going to be up in Fort
end of the
Worth,
year.
Texas. Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, right,
Let me see
right
if
on
this
the other
is.
side, the DFW. Shout out to my brother up there, Isaac Johnson. I
There we
know
go.
he's watching right now. He's holding it down. He's a future promoter with the Global Bodybuilding Organization, GBO Naturals. But the Natty Nights is actually promoted by Dwayne Malone. Dwayne Malone is putting on another show, y'all, and it's going to be great. This is going to be just a pro qualifier, so we won't have any
Okay.
pro athletes at this show, but you can qualify and earn your pro card at the Natty Nights Classic.
So it's two steps to get to the Atlas. You have to qualify as a pro, and then you have to place at a pro show.
Yes, yes, yes. You have to qualify as a pro and then place at a pro show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, like I say, it's the most prestigious show that we have. And
Absolutely.
only the top tier of the athletes in the world are going to actually be on that stage. You know, even in our other countries, the athletes have to qualify to get there. Europe has a big thing going on where, you know, you qualify there. They have a group of people that actually fly you out, they house you and everything, to come and compete at the Atlas. So they have to qualify too, just to get over here and compete at the Atlas. So yeah, it's our most prestigious title, you know. So only the best of the best, the best of
I
the
like it.
best.
I
Yeah,
like it. All right, and then it just goes right into the Atlas at the end of the year,
and
as of
we
now.
go right
So
into the
through,
Atlas.
yep.
Yeah, right
Here,
into
let
the
me
Atlas.
show that right here. Boom. There we go.
There it is.
That's in Texas. Yeah, there it
The
is.
Mr. and Mrs. Atlas Pro Am International. Hey,
Hmm.
if I can tell y'all that this show is so amazing. In 2019, when they did their procession and all the countries came out holding all their flags and joining hands. Music was playing. You know, it almost brought a tear to my eye, you know, to see where we started at. You know, even though the Atlas International had always been so big, but in 2019, to see that, you know, to see all the countries that were there and to see them all march in together, holding hands and loving each other and waving their flags with all the chaos that was going on in the world, to say that bodybuilding was able to hold it down. You know, it didn't have nothing to do with no race, didn't have nothing to do with no nationality. It had to do with bodybuilding, and it was nothing but love. And you know, you had Israel standing next to Egypt. You had Europe standing next to France or wherever, and then you had the Americans and the South Americans. Everybody was showing love, and it was, you know, like I say, it hit you in the heart. You know, it hit you in the heart. You know,
Okay.
and I,
All right.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
Now,
I love
I'm
it.
looking at this poster. Now, this is going to be the first year that they're going to have the naturals on the first day and then the non-tested on the second day, correct?
Yes,
So this is a
yes.
new
Hey,
format. Okay.
it's new. Like I said, we've always had where I think it was in 2018, 2017, where we was actually introduced the natural tested athletes where they were able to have their own classes. And then in
Okay.
2018, if I'm not mistaken, that's when we just went back to just the regular non-tested format. Then 2019, it was still a non-tested format, and then finally now we have the opportunity to have our own stage, our own platform for our natural athletes, tested athletes to compete on. And
I
it's,
love
you
it.
know, we're actually going to crown the first ever Mr. and Mrs. Natural Atlas. I'm beside myself about that, you know, because this is something that I've been waiting to see. And every day I tell our president, Bob Johnson, and vice president, Laura Johnson, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
providing a platform for our natural athletes. Thank you.
Yes. Now, and this goes to show, if you support natural bodybuilding athletes, if you're competing in these shows and you're supporting the natural stage, these are the type of things that the organizations can bring to you. They can keep growing and they can keep upping their game. So that
Right.
I love, because it's, you're giving
Yeah.
back to the athletes that supported you from the beginning, that are competing on your stage. You're able to give back to them, and
Right.
that's what it's all about. So I do love that. Now, going back to the qualification for these shows, Bob Johnson did add this in here, or special invite. So
Oh yeah.
that's
Well,
pretty
they
cool.
do have for some for I think pretty much we're pretty square. The only division that we're actually in GBO Naturals that we're not offering at any show it will be standard women's bodybuilding. That's the only
Okay.
one. So if you're a standard women bodybuilding pro, you
Hmm.
know, you get with me and I will get with the president and we'll talk about it and you might be able to get a special invite to compete at the Atlas in standard
Sure.
bodybuilding. On the
Okay.
non-tested side, um, they got the same opportunity too, especially like with your international athletes that actually
Hmm.
can't get to a show. So you might have an athlete, a pro athlete in Africa or something. He doesn't have the means to get to the show, but he wants to make it to the Atlas. Well, they can actually get a special invite. He's a uh, uh, world champion in his country. He could get a
Right.
special invite to come and compete at the Atlas.
All right, great. I love that. Now,
Right.
you yourself, let's talk a little bit about you. You have some stuff going on this year as well. You started your um kind of like a fitness production type business.
Right.
Let's talk about
ODL
that.
Fitness ODL Fitness Productions has always been around. We
Okay.
just really it's always been around. We had Team ODF back in the day. Team ODF was actually set up, whereas what you're talking about now, athletes coming into the game, they didn't have a clue about what was happening. They would actually
Right.
join our team, and we would help guide them through all the process of being a competitive bodybuilder. We in the process, we've had a lot of pros come up out of there, a lot of natural pros, a lot of non-tested pros that came out of ODF. Uh, Yolanda Yolanda Smith, Sonny Ewan, uh, uh, Kim Ross, uh, Courtney Dyers. The list goes on and on. Randy Levitas. It goes on and on. Pros that came through the ODF chain, and earned their pro
That's a
cards.
That's a great service to offer because,
Hmm.
at shows, you meet so many young athletes that have amazing potential, but they just have no guidance. I mean, even if you don't have a coach, there's still
Right,
so much to learn about the sport. It's good to have some type of guidance. And I mean, just the simple things, how and why we do our makeup a certain way, you know,
right.
like you might be great at doing your makeup every day. Like I'm getting ready to host a posing clinic next
Well,
weekend, and that's one of the
I
things.
am pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm talking to the girls. But like it's not the same when you're on stage and you have these bright
Right.
lights. You'll look like Casper the Ghost. Like there's a
Yeah.
specific way to do certain things, and if you just don't know, you don't know. So it's good to always reach out to someone that has experience that can guide you, and and you learn from other athletes. I'm sure
Right.
in your
Right.
production, you have the kind of like the older, more experienced athletes kind of helping like the younger, less experienced athletes, and it just kind of becomes a family,
Right.
which
And
is
that's
where you
basically
want to
what it
be.
was. And that's basically what it was. And they actually evolved in the process. A lot of them went on to do other things in the industry. Um,
Mhm.
uh, Billy Williams. Billy Williams, one of the hottest fitness photographers down here in Texas. He evolved and got into that from the stage. Words on the street is that he's trying to get back on stage. Billy, we waiting on you, baby. Uh, he did that. We had people that went into tanning. We had people that earned their certified personal training qualifications and certifications.
Aw.
So, posing coaches, we had
Yeah.
posing coaches, Michelle Munzie, Maria Johnson, people that went out there and did things outside of ODF, but they were still ODF family, and they, if we need them, they're there for us. So, it was great. And then once we decided to go into the events, we started doing events, anything from fitness, fashion shows, the Legacy Classic, the Poseidon Classic. We did a lot of events. We put on some amazing shows. So, you know, that's something that we're looking to do more of. I'm probably going to host some more boot camps. With posing camps, boot camps, the
Yeah.
whole 9 yards for the year to come.
Yeah. Valuable. It's so valuable.
Yes,
Definitely
yes.
take advantage of it, athletes. Or look for something
Mhm.
similar, where you are. Now, online, do you do any online type things with athletes?
Well, we're actually getting ready to release our website. I think it should be ready in March. Uh, we got Sandra Gayton working on that, and once she gets it done, we'll probably be able to offer some of those services also. So,
Great.
you know, yeah, ODF Fitness Productions is always been there, but it's behind the scenes doing a lot of things. You'll look up and see our logo on somebody's anything, that we actually help sponsor athletes and stuff like that. We sponsored Team Texas. We took Team Texas down to the IPE Worlds. I think that was in like 2018, something like that. Then we also did DFAC Worlds. We had Team Texas down there that ODF sponsored. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, this was great. Very informative. If any of our viewers have any, I put the website, I actually included that in the comments.
Hmm.
I think it's a very user-friendly website. If you guys have any questions about judging, criteria, where shows are, anything, their website is very, very user-friendly.
And
But yeah,
again,
no, today
we're
was
still
fun.
growing. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
still growing. And if you guys, like I said, you heard it in the video. If you want to be a judge, contact me.
Yes, that's
Operation Doc
important.
Frank. You if you want to promote, contact me. Contact me, and if you want to promote in
What
your
kind of
state,
support do you guys
we'll
offer
make
your
it happen.
promoters?
Oh, everything. We have classes, we have uh, different platforms as far as like Zoom platforms. We talk to we I think right now we're having a Zoom platform with the promoters like every 3 months or something like that, where we actually talk out everything and make sure everybody's on the same page, and that if anybody needs anything. As far as the naturals is concerned, I'm there. I'm gonna make every show. 'Cause one, I'm a stickler about quality insurance, so I'll make sure everything's going the way we need it to go. But
Right.
we support our promoters 100%. The
So
directors of each state, we got directors in each state. They are
you're
there to
quality
help them out
control.
also. Yes, I'm quality control.
That's important. That's
It
important
is.
because people ask me all the time, Sam, what organization should I compete in? And I have to honestly answer with, don't judge any one specific
You
organization.
can't.
You need to check out each individual promoter because there is no
That's
quality
right.
control with
It,
many of
it's
these
it's not.
organizations. And
It's
I
not, and
don't
that's
want
why I try to make sure I do that.
to
Yeah.
and
And
I
like I
don't
say, you're so correct about the organizations. Making sure that you go out there and find something that fits you.
yeah,
I would love for you to come to GBO Naturals, but there's some more amazing federations out there. The AMBF, one of our affiliates. I love Kent. I love his message. I love what he's doing. Bruce and Carol Johnson down in Atlanta with the SMBF. Of course, I was a PNBA pro. Of course, PNBA with Danny Tukos. It's a lot of amazing federations. The NFL here in Texas, we support them. 100%. They
yeah,
support us 100%. With Todd Tanner and those guys down there. So yeah, it's amazing. It's a lot of amazing federations for you to look at. We would love for
hmm,
you to come over, but the only way you're gonna be able to find out the difference is that you actually experience it. And so
that's right.
get your experience in and check those federations out. Those are just a couple of them that I really endorse, and if you was to actually compete, I would say yeah, go for it. Good people, good people.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and like I said, if you do compete in an organization and a show really wasn't up to par, didn't meet your standards, don't hold that against the entire organization, because that doesn't mean
No,
that there isn't great promoters within that organization. It's just you
right,
may have stumbled across one that just didn't have the heart or just didn't put the love into it that another promoter might. So
right.
just I mean,
You
yeah.
you're right. You're right. I mean, you got some promoters that's about the money. One of my good friends, Leaf Anderson, up there in Minnesota, he told me
Hmm.
this a long time ago. He was like, because I support Leaf 100%. I loved his shows. He actually put a lot of stuff into his shows that I incorporated into my shows. But the one thing that he told me is, he said, Todd, it's always got to be passion over profit, and that stuck with me. And so you know,
Yeah.
my passion is to make sure that you have the greatest GBO experience of all time. You know, win, lose, or draw on the money side, but I'm gonna make sure that those athletes walk out saying, "Dang, I
Right.
had
They'll be
fun."
back. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this was so fun. Thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you for everybody that stuck in and that tuned in and watched. Share this video. It's going to be up here, on my Facebook page. And you continue to, if you're watching this, rewatching it, or tuning in after the live, you can still drop questions. Todd will answer them. And yeah, we appreciate
Yeah.
you guys. We appreciate all the athletes and promoters and everybody that supports natural bodybuilding. Anything from you?
Yep. One last thing. Instagram, shout out to Chris Proctor, director of Europe. They also have a page on Instagram, which is GBO Worldwide. If you want to know about any show all over the world, go to GBO Worldwide on Instagram, and you'll be able to find out about all shows GBO.
GBO Worldwide. I'm gonna drop that right now in the comments here.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Sammy Jo, I appreciate you. I can't wait to meet you. I'm coming to Florida. You know, I'm coming to Florida to hang
Nice
out
and
with you.
warm.
You know, and
Yeah,
we're gonna do it Natty style.
that's right. That's right. Invitation is open, and I'm sure I'm gonna be over to Texas at some point this year. So
Okay.
we'll get together.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, guys.